If you know where to look, Concord has some hidden gems with some amazing stories. We asked local historian Jim Spain to show us a few. We're standing on South Main Street. It looks like another set of stairs, but this is no ordinary set of stairs.
No, it's not, Sean. These stairs, people locally refer to these stairs as stairs to nowhere.
The stairs once led to this grand home that was rented by Franklin Pierce after his presidency.
One person that walked up these steps we see in front of us would have been Nathaniel Hawthorne. Hawthorne and Pierce were very good friends.
Pierce's wife, and eventually Pierce himself, died at this home in 1869. The home burned down in the 1980s, and the owner left the rest untouched.
Jack Clarity told me he decided just to leave the steps, the railing, and everything else that remained as a tribute to Franklin Pierce.
So a lot of folks have driven up 93 and seen this round building over there. What is this thing?
This is quite unique, Sean. It really is. This is the Concord Gaslight gas holder.
Built in 1888, this building would store natural gas.
They would burn coal, and the byproduct of the coal, the gas that came off, it was called coal gas, and that gas became early natural gas.
In the beginning, it lit up gas lamps on Main Street. Today, the building has been saved from the wrecking ball, and it could be repurposed in the future. Our next stop takes us inside the New Hampshire Historical Society. President Bill Dunlap showed us one of the most asked about objects in their collection.
This is called the Mystery Stone, and it's one of the most interesting artifacts in our entire collection. It was dug up by some workers who were digging fence post holes in Meredith, New Hampshire.
It's covered in what appear to be Native American markings and made from rock that's not from this area. No one knows exactly what it is or where it came from, hence the name Mystery Stone.
The Smithsonian came up and took a look at it back in the 1920s. European historians came here.
But so far, there are no solid answers, which has led to some wild theories.
Including it came from outer space. It's an indication of a coming apocalypse. It's related to numerology, New Age, spiritual stuff, lots of theories.
It's on display in the collection here. Maybe you can unlock the answer.
But if anybody has a theory on the origins of this, I'd love to hear it.
Ever wonder how Ironworks Road got its name?
A lot of people that live here in Concord, they use this as a shortcut or to commute. It's not heavily traveled, but it's very historic.
Right by the Turkey River, you may notice this stone marker where a Revolutionary War foundry once stood. They made cannonballs that helped defeat the British.
I was told actually by some local historians years ago that a lot of the ammunition that was manufactured here was actually brought to Bunker Hill at the start of the Revolution.
Did you know the site of the 110 Grill on Store Street was once a massive brick train depot with a unique distinction, thanks to what was found while digging the foundation in 1870?
When there was a shout from one of the pits, a gentleman had discovered something that was unique and truly unexpected.
They found a sword with ancient writing on it. Historians believe it could have been buried hundreds of years.
We're not sure if it came from the Vikings or if it came from the Hibernians. We're not really sure. But the people locally that spoke at that time kindly and commonly referred to it as a Viking sword.
You may not know this brick building on Beacon Street was once part of the old state prison. This was added in 1860 to an existing prison building. Today, what's left is an office building and one other prison remnant across the street at what is now a private residence.
It was built at the same time that they built the prison. So they had the extra granite and they built the house, and that's where the warden lived.
Next stop on our oddities journey, the State House, and inside the Visitor Center, where people will travel big distances to see something very small.
One of the odd and unique things is they come looking for moon rocks.
Visitor Center Director Virginia Drew says all 50 states got a moon rock display like this.
So they're tiny specks, but they are lunar samples actually brought back from Apollo 11, put in a little plastic bubble to keep them safe. You get to go right very close to them. I mean, how often can you say you stood that close to a piece of the moon?
She then took us upstairs to see a thing of beauty very few ever see. This was installed as part of the State House bicentennial.
They created a stained glass window. In the center of the stained glass window is the original State House.
But you only see it from inside the building, if you know where to look. And it turns out you don't need to travel to Philadelphia to see the Liberty Bell. There's a perfect replica right in front of the State House.
So there were 53 of these Liberty Bells cast. They were given to the states to promote war bonds. So it's only been out there since 1950.
They were given to all the states, but not all are as visible as ours.
And when they were given, everyone made a promise to put them out where people could see and remember. And New Hampshire keeps its promise.